Hi there, Prairie Plant Girl here. I'm out in the garden today. It's September 13th. It's 14 degrees, which seems to be about what we're getting these days. Because we're getting down to lows of around 5, maybe 7 degrees if we're lucky. So it's definitely winding down here in zone 3. So I thought I'd take you for a little walk around the vegetable garden, have a look at what's going on, and I'm definitely going to be pulling some plants pretty soon here before the snow comes. We'll start over here in the far bed. I had Swiss chard and kale and beets. I had turnips and kohlrabi. I had spinach, carrots. I had a lot of crops, mostly cool weather crops in here that I had started, and they actually most of them made it quite well through the season. The kale just didn't perform for me this year, and the turnips wound up with root maggots, and the Swiss chard I've just taken out because it just was getting out of control, and I had just had my share of it. But there's still a few beets there, and if you look down, they have some real nice tops on them. They're looking real nice. So we've eaten a few, but I'm leaving these ones a little bit longer. They don't mind the cold days and evenings, and a lot of these root crops just get sweeter when you leave them in the ground through the cold. So they'll definitely come out before the ground freezes, but they'll stay for a little while longer. There's one more rogue beet there. Kohlrabi, it's the first year I've ever grown kohlrabi. You can see the caterpillars have had a heyday with it. And it doesn't really seem like it's done much in here. So I'm not sure. I'll have to try again next year, and I maybe need a sunnier spot for it. I think this maybe just wasn't enough sun, and like I said, the caterpillars have just gone to town on it, so that didn't help either. Spinach is going to seed, and you can see there's a volunteer potato in here. I don't know how, as these are raised beds, but I did seem to have a few volunteers sprout up. Now I had put some waste in these beds in the fall before I planted, put dirt on compost and that on top. So the carrots have been great this year. We've been steadily eating the carrots, and I don't know if you can see, but I've planted a few more out this way a little bit, mixed in with the spinach. So should have carrots for a while yet, and again, they'll just get sweeter with the cold weather. They stay in the ground, so I'll just leave them. This was the bed of Norland potatoes, and as you can see, they were supposed to be an early potato, and they've pretty much all died right down now. We've eaten most of the potatoes out of here. I have, I don't know, 4 or 6 plants left. And this is the plant. I don't know if you saw the video where I was trying to sneak some out of the bottom, and I wound up pulling the whole plant out, and it had a lot on it, so I thought, well, I'll just stick it back in the ground and see. But no, I think it just rotted off. I don't think there's really anything under there. So that's the answer to that. You can't just plant it back in and expect it to grow more. We've had a bit of rain here, and I need to turn the sprinkler hoses off, but potatoes are pretty much ready to come out. I'll be doing a harvest here soon. So this bed is the carob potatoes in the front and the Pontiacs in the back. And as you can see, they're all dying down, but they still have some green on them. But we have been eating out of this bed a little bit too, so there's a few empty spots. Had some nice potatoes, but I'll definitely be getting out here in the next few weeks to a month, depending on the weather, and pulling the rest of the potatoes out and getting them into storage for the winter. Side note, the sweet peas have just gone crazy this past month, especially now that the weather has cooled down. They're very happy up there. Corn, I've got some stalks that I've pulled out that are sitting there waiting for me to cut them up and compost them. And we've got some plants left here, so I need to get out here. There's a few cobs left on there that it's just been so cold and windy. I haven't been out to do much with it, but I'll have to check and see if they're worth eating anymore. See, the aphids having their day today. These cool nights and mornings, they seem to like these cooler days. I've pulled all the beans that were in this bed out. This bed was mostly beans except for the corn, and I've pulled them all out, and this is the pumpkin that I've just let sprawl out through here. You can see the aphids again are just going nuts. And all the beautiful zinnias that I always plant through the middle. This bed here was my peas, and they've been done for a while now. They just hit their lifespan and were aging out, and I had some bugs or something really eating on them, so I just cut them all off. And you can see this little plant has decided it wants to try and real hard to grow up again, but I don't think it's going to produce anything with this weather we're having. I think the nights are getting too cold even for the peas. I had some pak choi in here, and we had some nice harvests of it, but then again the worms really got into it, and it just wasn't something you wanted to be eating anymore after that. The celery is just very happy in this spot. I'll have to remember that is a spot that the celery really likes. It's definitely gotten lots of moisture, even though it was a droughty year. I have the dripper hoses wrapped around, and they run right along the edge of the celery, so they've been getting lots of moisture that way. And they've been growing nice and strong. I've been eating lots of celery, even with this hot summer. And this bed here is the eggplants and the peppers. And you can see the aphids have done their damage, and I'm not worrying about it too much. I'll be pulling everything out, but you can see how they're getting that kind of, I don't know, filmy look to the leaves. I don't know if you could see that, and they're curling. The aphids are definitely having their way with the garden right now, but the temperatures are so cool, I'm not concerning myself too much with it. Look at this little jalapeno. I've never had them turning color, and it's not soft. I think it's actually just trying to turn color there in this weather. But so there's a few things in this bed that I'm going to have to harvest. Come around, there's jalapenos there. Everything's pretty much slowed right down now. It's just too cool for things to want to grow, but we get the odd thing yet. So there's the banana peppers here. You can see some hanging there. And the California wonders. Look at those aphids. But there are still a few fruit trying to grow. I don't think I'll get too much, if anything more than what's there now, coming off these plants. Over here is the tomato beds. So this side here is the aromas. You can see that jug. That's just a jug of water that, when the cover is over top, can help hold some heat in there. But I took the covers off yesterday it was raining a little bit, and I was hoping it might wash some of these aphids away, but I don't think it bothered them too much. There's my little tiny Tim. The onions, considering the beating they took in the hail, I'd say these little tiny onions I got weren't too bad, and I always plant them close together. I don't look for giant onions. Just like a little bit of that flavor every now and then. This was a mixed cherry tomato of some sort, and they were an nice orange cherry tomato, and they're still have a few ripe ones on there, so I'll have to be getting those off. And these are my Manitobas. You can see there's a nice ripe one in there, one coming there, another one there, and lots of other fruits. So it's supposed to get real cold tonight or tomorrow night, so I'll be taking all that fruit off before then. And then here I have the pear tomatoes. So lots in there, ripening. And you can see those little chocolate sprinkled tomatoes. And the black crim is leaning back here. And I don't know if you can see, there's one down there that's looking pretty nice, and a few more that are green that I'll pull those off too. And there's the pumpkin. Pumpkin is just going crazy, still covered in powdery mildew and aphid. So I don't think I'm really going to get much out of that. And same with the cucumber. I think it's done. We had a nice, I don't know, maybe half a dozen little cucumbers. And considering that was a plant I just rescued off the store shelf in pretty bad shape. First time I think growing cucumbers. So I'm happy with that. And the zucchini, it's looking pretty sad too. I think it's done. So I'll be coming out here, spending the next few days just pulling things out, getting things in the compost that can go in the compost, and anything that's looking diseased I'll send to the trash, and harvesting what's left to be harvested. But I would say our season is done here as far as the vegetables go, and that'll be that until next spring. If I can get my hands on some garlic bulbs, I might try and get some of those and get those planted. But so thanks for watching, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye.